friends, today is Friday the 30th of April. This is Pastor Charlie with the last of this week's Growing Deeper, Reaching Higher devotional videos. I hope so far this week you've had time to really spend a few minutes every morning thinking about your own discipleship journey, living into the call that I put out in my sermon last Sunday, the call to enjoy these lives of deeper discipleship and to be unafraid to take the steps in all the means of grace that we are called to live into. And so today I want to draw your attention to those verses of scripture that I hope you've read already before you came to this video. That's from Deuteronomy chapter 8 verses 11 through 17. And in this passage, God has given a very simple command to Israel. And he's just saying, don't forget me. Don't forget me. When you get to the place of reflection and you're thinking about your prosperity, thinking about your success, your wealth, how far you've come, don't forget that from which you received it all. And that, of course, is God. Don't get to the end of that reflective journey and think, gosh, look how well we did ourselves. Look what we built up here. The story of Israel is a story of God's affection for them, God's promise to be their God, and God's call for them to be his people. It was a covenant made between God and God's people. And it was a covenant in which they were always to understand that God was with them, God would never leave them nor forsake them, that God would always provide for them. But Israel had fallen into the trap of thinking that everything that they had built up, they had built it up by the blood and sweat and tears of their own bodies, their own lives. They had forgotten God. And so we get this command here, not to take credit for that which you actually don't get to take credit. Don't take credit for these successes, says God, because actually they have been a gift from me to you. As you take this time of reflection and thought and devotion today, I want to invite you to take a few minutes just to think about your life, to think about the things that you have been given, whether that is opportunities, whether that is resources, whether that is gifts with your hands or with your mind or with your heart. There's the gift of friendship, the gift of learning in your lifetime. Think of all of the things, all of the blessings as we describe them that you can think of in your life. And as you think of them all, even though you have had to sweat for some of them, even though you have joined in with God to work and develop some of them, at our root we must be people who acknowledge that everything has come from God. And we must give credit where credit is due. And of course, all credit, all glory for every little thing that we enjoy in life must go to God alone. Because it's only when we give God the glory and we give God the credit that we will be willing to return unto God what God calls us to return. So we're praying that prayer. God, what would you like to do through me? And I hope as you pray that day in and day out that God is speaking to you with clarity in a way that you're understanding, inviting you to be a part of what God is doing in your life right now, inviting you to take a next faithful step in this journey into deeper discipleship. So I'm praying for you today. I'm praying that your heart, your mind would be open to God's leading and guiding, and that you would have all of the grace and all of the courage that you need as you give God credit for what God has done and join him in the work that he is doing in the world in these days. So friends, I look forward to seeing you in worship on Sunday morning. Remember, we have 4 opportunities for that now. 3 in person on campus taking place at 8, 9:30 and 11. And of course, our online service on Facebook Premiere at 11 a.m. And that's on the church's Facebook page. I hope that I will see you. If I don't see you, I hope you'll see me at one of those opportunities. God bless you. Have a great weekend and take care.